Hello YouTube, Wes here checking in with a brand new episode of The Vinyl Survivor. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're having a great day, great night whenever you're watching this. Let's go ahead and get into this. As usual, batch of 10 records that were new to my ears. I tell you a little bit about each one, let you know what I thought of each one, and let you know whether they're going to be staying in my permanent collection or going away. So let's go ahead and get into this. First thing I have here to talk about today is a Deutsche Grammophon release. This is old Spanish romances and folk songs, so not particularly a classical music release, but a very traditional sort of historical folk music kind of release from Deutsche Grammophon, which they occasionally do. As you would expect from the title, this has a very flourishy acoustic guitar sound, and a female vocalist singing Spanish folk songs. Definitely sings in sort of a falsetto kind of voice. It's basically what you would expect this to be. Expect this to sound like traditional Spanish folk kind of music. It was nice to listen to, but just not really something I see myself listening to again. But it was really nice to hear, nicely recorded as usual with Deutsche Grammophon releases. And of course, that yellow Deutsche Grammophon label on this one. And it's Pilar Lorengar is the singer, and Siegfried Behrend is the guitar player. So yeah, not going to be staying in the collection. Just an interesting piece of Spanish folk music. It was nice to listen to, but not something I want to listen to again. All right, next up, a piece of, I guess you'd call it jazz music. This is Dave Mason with Split Coconut, 1976, I believe, is the date on this. 1975. Dave Mason was a very funky, sort of fusion-y jazz musician. This features the title track, Split Coconut, which was a recognizable song for me. David Crosby and Graham Nash also play on this album. And overall, this album was kind of a disappointment to me. It was kind of funky and upbeat, but just not... It just didn't really ever go anywhere for me. On the Columbia Red and Orange label, Dave Mason's Split Coconut, not staying in the collection, just didn't really do much for me. It was sort of a fun, kind of upbeat kind of thing. It would be good for like a party if you're having a pool party or something. It'd be kind of fun to play, but definitely has sort of a tropical kind of feel to it, but not that interesting in my opinion, especially considering that David Crosby and Graham Nash are on there, and it should be excellent, but it's just not. All right, next thing I have here is a piece of comedy. This is Kate Clinton. The album is called Making Waves. It's on this nice blue vinyl put into this clear sleeve here. This is an autographed copy of this. It was released in 1984. Kate Clinton is a queer artist, so talks a lot about, being gay and the funny things that come with that, particularly in the 80s when things were not as accepted as they are now, and so just dealing with family issues and funny things like that. I thought this was pretty funny. I really did enjoy it. So I'll be keeping this one. It's a neat little piece, and it's nice that it's autographed. So Kate Clinton, Making Waves, staying in the collection. All right, next thing I have here, changing directions once again. I have a promotional 12-inch from Scarface, one of the members of the band the Ghetto Boys. This is, on this album, it's called People Don't Believe, featuring Ice Cube, but the actual title of this song ended up being Hand of the Dead Body, which is something people would recognize more. Hand of the Dead Body by Scarface. So it's pretty cool that this song evidently changed titles. This is a white label promo of this. The song itself is the same as the album version, as far as I can tell. Features Ice Cube, as I said. Yeah, a neat track, but not something I necessarily want to keep. As I said, this doesn't differ from the album version. There's nothing really particularly unique on this 12-inch single. There's a Mind Playing Tricks 94 song on here. Yeah, nah, not really. So, yeah, unfortunately, this one is not going to be staying in the collection either. Just not that interesting to me, even though I do like hip hop and I do like Scarface and I do like this album. But all right, next thing I have to talk about, moving into sort of a country instrumental area here. This is, of course, Chet Atkins and Jerry Reed. This is Me and Jerry. So, you know, instrumental guitar picking, just awesome, awesome, awesome guitar picking. If you just want to hear some great guitar work, yeah, either one of these guys are great, and put them together and have them just sort of jam together is just killer. So I really did enjoy this one quite a bit. The RCA orange label. So yeah, that one's going to be staying in the collection. These are guys you see in the thrift stores a lot, dollar bins sometimes, that kind of thing. And I'd say it's worth picking one up just to hear and just to enjoy. They're definitely enjoyable records and really good just guitar music to listen to. And so this one is staying in my collection. So that one was Me and Jerry, and this one is Me and Jet. Me and Chet with Chet Atkins and Jerry Reed once again. They're in a canoe this time. Pretty cool. Again, just acoustic, instrumental guitar jamming, you know, back and forth, bouncing back and forth between the two. Just killer stuff, fun stuff on here. This is 1972 on this one. And the last one was 1970, so there was a couple years between these two releases. But once again, on the orange RCA label, Dynaflex. Me and Chet, Jerry Reed and Chet Atkins staying in the collection. All right, next up, I got some 80s new wave here. This is a classic of the period, Adam and the Ants, the Kings of the Wild Frontier album, 1980 exactly. This, as I said, a classic 80s new wave album. This album introduced what they call the Burundi beat sound. It's a very tribal, rhythmic kind of drumming, you know, do 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 do, just kind of a very tribal drumming sound, a very upbeat, high energy kind of music as far as just being very rhythmically forward and interesting sound. This is Adam and the Ants, sort of a change of members, I guess you could say. Malcolm McLaren took a bunch of the members of the band and formed Bow Wow Wow. They also did a sort of a Burundi beat kind of sound, so it was kind of weird how this group sort of split up into two groups, but they were doing sort of the same kind of thing. I guess a difference of opinion there caused them to break up, but a really great album. I really did enjoy hearing the whole album on this. Yeah, the title track "Kings of the Wild Frontier" was a hit. "Dog Eat Dog" was a hit, and "Ant Music" were hits as well. But through and through, this is a great album. I really enjoyed. The Jolly Roger is a really good song on here, kind of a pirate themed sort of song. Really cool. I also like the closing track, The Human Beings. Yeah, just a awesome 80s album here. Glad I got this one. And that's on the Epic label there. Adam and the Ants, Kings of the Wild Frontier, staying in the collection. Really did enjoy this one quite a bit. All right, back on the country pickin' kind of vibe here. Just a solo album by Chet Atkins. This one's just titled Chet. 1967 on this one. Again, a really great guitar picking kind of album. Not necessarily straight ahead, even though he gets labeled as country. This isn't, you know, twangy country kind of music. This is just really good acoustic guitar kind of music. So even if you're not into country, I do suggest checking out Chet Atkins or giving him a chance. He can do very good, almost jazz guitar kind of sound. Really good stuff. This is on an RCA Camden label, sort of a teal and blue color. Yeah, don't see that label too often. I don't know if I've ever seen that label before. Pretty neat label though. I do like that. So yeah, again, Chet Atkins, Chet, good one to pick up. You know, dollar bin thrift store kind of find, and really enjoyable acoustic guitar picking kind of music. So glad to have this in the collection. All right, next up, we're going back into sort of the rock genre here. We have the 6th and final album from the band Free. This is titled Heartbreaker from 1973. Of course, features the title track, Heartbreaker, on it. Very much a British blues rock kind of band here. This album was recorded after several of the members quit the band. As I said, it's their last album as well, so just a lot of troubles in the band at the time. This has the song "Wishing Well" on it, which was the biggest hit on here. A recognizable song for most people, I would imagine. A good song, but this album was good all the way through. I really did enjoy. I did enjoy hearing this album quite a bit. As I said, it's a blues rocky kind of album. Really nice sounding. It's sad that the band couldn't stay together because they were doing really good music, in my opinion. If you like the British blues rock kind of thing, these guys are pretty good, and this is a good album to get if you can find it. There is the original Island Records sleeve. This is a Island Records release, which is cool. Don't see those too often. And this is on a pink rim Island label. Very cool label. Glad to have that. So yeah, that's Free's Heartbreaker. Awesome album. Definitely highly recommended. And so yeah, check this one out. Good album. And last but not least, definitely from the once again from the British hard rock, blues rock, progressive rock kind of genre, we have Nightingales and Bombers from Manfred Mann's Earth Band from 1975. Awesome album. I was blown away by this. I'd heard of Manfred Mann's Earth Band. I knew Blinded by the Light, some of their bigger songs, but I hadn't heard anything off of here. They do a cover of Spirits in the Night, the Bruce Springsteen song that sounds nothing at all like the original, but it's just incredible in its own way. Sort of moving on to the second side of the album, you get into a very sort of spacey, progressive kind of thing. If you're into Pink Floyd and stuff like that, that'll be right up your alley. But really good, really great guitar playing, really great musically. Sounds really good. Definitely like this one quite a bit. And this is on the Palm Tree Warner Brother label. Yeah, so Nightingales and Bombers. Definitely another recommended one from this group of records. One of my favorites from this group, and a good way to close out this episode. So thank you for watching this episode of the Vinyl Survivor. I hope you enjoyed it. If you aren't already, please subscribe to be kept up to date with future episodes of the Vinyl Survivor. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers.